Is the world
There's a war in
standing
the
on the
Middle
brink
East.
of World War III?
Operation Epic
Today,
Fury
this is
will
no
invent
longer
today.
just a sensational headline. It is a cold, hard reality. On one side stands the global hegemon, the United States, with a military budget exceeding $800 billion a year. On the other side is Iran, the heart of the axis of resistance, holding the entire Middle East in a state of constant tension despite decades of crushing sanctions. This is not just a dispute between two nations. This is a struggle for oil, religion, nuclear supremacy, and global dominance. One wrong move, one accidental missile launch, could shatter the global economy and change life as we know it forever. Why has the US been unable to defeat Iran for 40 years? What is Iran's invisible army? And most importantly, what happens to the world if a full-scale war breaks out? Today, Netflix style, we strip away the propaganda to reveal the bitter truth. Brace yourselves. To understand the present, we must go back to the 1970s. Back then, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was America's closest ally in the Middle East, almost like a protege. American cars cruised the streets of Tehran, and its citizens embraced Western fashion. Iran was a pro-Western island in a volatile region, but beneath the surface, a revolution was simmering. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 turned everything upside down. When Ayatollah Khomeini rose to power, the US lost its greatest ally and gained its greatest enemy overnight. The storming of the US embassy in Tehran and the 444-day hostage crisis involving 52 Americans was the most humiliating blow to Washington's prestige in history. From that moment on, Iran became the axis of evil to America, and America became the great Satan to Iran. This was the birth of a hatred that has lasted over 4 decades. America tried to rescue the hostages, but it ended in disaster. Operation Eagle Claw collapsed in the desert, marking one of the most disgraceful moments in U.S. military history. Since then, Iran's ultimate goal has been to ensure no American boot ever feels safe on their soil again. America's conventional military might is 100 times greater than Iran's. Tehran knows this. That is why they avoid direct confrontation. Instead, they perfected the art of asymmetric warfare. The architect of this strategy was the legendary General Qasem Soleimani. He built the Quds Force and blanketed the Middle East with groups loyal to Tehran: Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen, and Shia militias in Iraq. These groups are Iran's long reach. They fight with Iranian weapons and Iranian money, while Tehran maintains plausible deniability. Soleimani was the shadow king of the region. When Donald Trump ordered his assassination at Baghdad airport in 2020, the world held its breath for war. But Iran's revenge was different. They shifted to a long-term strategy of bleeding America out of the region, one strike at a time. If Washington were to strike Tehran tomorrow, Iran's primary weapon wouldn't just be missiles. They would strangle the global economy at its throat. The Strait of Hormuz. More than 20% of the world's oil passes through this narrow waterway. If Iran mines or blocks this strait, oil prices could skyrocket to over $200 a barrel overnight. This means global inflation, a halt in logistics, and total international chaos. In these waters, American aircraft carriers become massive targets. Iran's small, fast attack boats and kamikaze drones are designed for swarm attacks against the giants. Secret Pentagon war games have shown that in such a scenario, the U.S. Navy could suffer devastating losses. The ultimate red line for stopping Iran is nuclear weapons. For years, Tehran has claimed, "Our atom is for peaceful purposes," but their uranium enrichment levels are dangerously close to weapons grade. Israel has stated clearly, they will never allow this to happen. Israeli and American intelligence agencies have been assassinating Iranian scientists and launching cyber attacks on their facilities for years. However, Iran's nuclear sites are buried deep underground, carved into the hearts of mountains. Even the most powerful non-nuclear bunker buster bombs may not be enough to destroy them. This is a ticking time bomb. If Iran goes nuclear, the balance of power in the Middle East changes forever. Saudi Arabia and Turkey may follow suit, pushing the world into nuclear anarchy. Modern war is no longer just the roar of tanks. It is a war of codes and algorithms. Over the last decade, Iran has become a world leader in drone manufacturing. Their Shahed drones are cheap, but lethal. A drone costing a few $1,000s can bypass American defense systems worth millions. These drones have changed the nature of conflict, not just in the Middle East, but globally. Iran exports its drone technology to Russia, Sudan, and Venezuela, creating a massive headache for Washington. In cyberspace, Iranian hackers are constantly probing and attacking U.S. energy grids, banks, and government infrastructure. War between America and Iran is impossible without Israel. For Israel, Iran is an existential threat. Tehran openly aims to wipe Israel off the map. Hezbollah's 150,000 missiles in Lebanon are aimed directly at Israeli cities. If a direct war breaks out between Iran and Israel, the U.S. will be forced to intervene. This is the trigger for the greatest explosion the Middle East has ever seen. Can Israel's Iron Dome withstand thousands of missiles at once? What can the U.S. do against Iran's Jericho missiles? The answers to these questions may soon be written in blood. So, what awaits us? America and Iran are like two massive freight trains hurtling toward each other at full speed. Neither side wants to blink. America wants to preserve its hegemony. Iran wants to build a new regional empire. A major war could lead to a nuclear catastrophe or a total global economic collapse. In this war, there will be no winners, only survivors. We are living in the most dangerous period of history. This isn't just politics. This is our collective security. If the Middle East burns, the smoke will reach every corner of the globe. What do you think? Is this just a show of force, or should we truly prepare for a great war? Let us know in the comments. If you want to see the next part on Iran's secret weapons, subscribe to the channel. We tell only the truth. Until next time.